Good evening, everyone. It's good evening, everyone. I would give it a little time to allow others to come in on this broadcast. I am. I haven't been here. Um, I haven't used StreamYard in quite a while due to things. Um, my laptop was broken. I was using my phone, but I'll be using my laptop and my I'll be using my laptop and my iPad. Tonight I'm using my iPad. I'll give people a chance to come in. So, I'll give it a few minutes and allow people to come in because I've just the live has just started, so give it a minute or two to come in. I hope everyone is having a good evening this evening. You know, yeah. Okay. I'm going to start. I'm going to start my start my video. It's not going to be that long. I'm quite sure that most of you have heard about the shooting of Charlie Charlie Kirk, the co-founder. Well, I'm going to discuss this tonight. The leader of Turning Point USA. He was shot on on September 10th at 12:30 in the afternoon at one of his events that he was hosting in Orem, Utah. The place is Orem, Utah. He was shot and killed. And I would like to first say that there are people who are going around saying he got what he deserved. My sympathies go out to his children, because they they were young. They did not, they didn't deserve to lose their father because of his beliefs. I I and I will say that, and my stance about death. I wish death upon no one. No one do I wish death upon. I I have listened to Charlie Kirk, and his views were not my views of my persuasion, but I did not wish death upon him, and he was allowed to have the views that he had. I felt he was allowed to have them. I did not agree with him on gun violence, his stance on gun violence. Mostly everything he said I was against, but I did not, and I do not condone. I do not wish death on him, and I do not condone violence of any type. So I want to let that begin. But I'm going to. I was curious. I have to admit that I was curious to know what drives him, what gave him his thought process, why he was. Because you hear him on his podcast. I was very surprised to know that he was married. His marriage, maybe because I didn't follow him, I don't know. But I was surprised to know he was married and he had two children. He had a 3-year old and a 1-year old, who is a boy, who is a boy. So you know, it kind of, it was different. I was looking at different things. And I wanted to know, usually with people like Charlie Kirk, a Charlie Kirk type of person, I would you know, I would take and I would look and see about the family life. And because of his death, it you know, I went at it more so than I did before. And there were a few things I found out about him. And one thing I found out was that he was not the founder of Turning Point USA as we all believed was. He was not its founder. First all, first Charlie Kirk came from a millionaire family, a wealthy family. His father was an architect. His father was an architect, and his mother was in trading, and into trading on the stock exchange, the mercantile in Michigan, the state where he was born. So he came from privilege, and he was around wealthy people all of his life. So he didn't have to know. In other words, Charlie Kirk was not a J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, as much as you may not like him, he was a poor boy from Appalachia who went to school and worked his way up. Now, you may not agree with him, but that's what he did. That's what J.D. Vance is about. Charlie Kirk came from privilege. His father knew all the wealthy people. He was surrounded by millionaire people, and he, you know, his some of his father's friends, were older conservative Republicans. And there's a man he met. Uh, I have to be honest, I forgot the man's name right now, and I can't find the article to retrieve his name. But there was a man, an older man, who gave him Turning Point USA. How he was affiliated with it, I can't find the article to post it anymore because I assume it was taken down. I don't know. But anyway, he was given this title. And I also find out, and this kind of gave me insight into the reason why he felt the way he felt about diversity, uh, the DEI thing. Charlie Kirk at 18, all his life, he had wanted to go to the Naval Academy. He applied and he was rejected at 18 years old before he got into Turning Point USA. Before he got into the conservative movement, he had wanted his lifelong dream was to finish high school and go and apply and attend the Naval Academy. Well, he applied, but he was not accepted. So this gave me some insight into thinking about his stance on DEI because uh, he said that DEI recipients of diversity, and inclusion, he said that they took the place of qualified white men. So, I got that insight into him. He was, and he surrounded this elderly gentleman, a friend of his family, came and offered him this thing to do Turning Point USA. He took it and he turned it into what it is, a conservative movement. Some people say he was a great debater, but Charlie Kirk, uh, Charlie Kirk didn't, in my estimation, and this is just my opinion, he was not the great debater that everybody claimed him to be. If you look at the people who Charlie uh, debated with, he debated with impressionable young teenagers, young people that just starting out in life, and who some are impressionable, some aren't. Now, not saying he wasn't a charming person to those who appealed, his rhetoric appealed to. He may have been a great person, but he debated young teenagers, basically teenagers who were just out of school, going into college, getting ready to start moving into adulthood. And that's an awkward time when you're young and you just get out of high school. You get some freedom. You begin to get freedom as more of an adult as you age. He has never had a debate with anyone in his age group. He debated young people who basically uh, were not as well informed. Some were, some weren't well informed, and who he fast talked into believing that they were. But that's neither here nor there at this point with Charlie Kirk and his beliefs. His Because his belief was not in my realm of what I believed in. It doesn't mean it didn't mean that he should be shot. I don't feel that he should have been shot for, even though they don't coincide with my beliefs, you know. But he he was not this great person. He disparaged black people, people of color. He asserted that Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Ketanji Brown Jackson uh, were all DEI hires, and all because took they were admitted into Harvard University because of their color, not taking into fact that Harvard recruited them and their college records show that they were, you know, great, excellent students. They had excellent grade averages, you know, when they graduated high school, and they don't take people. They don't give out financial aid. They admitted people to Harvard, and I know this for a fact because I know someone who has children that has a child that attended Harvard and will be graduating, actually graduating in December, but will graduate, walk down the aisle at Harvard from Harvard University Law School and things, who is a lawyer, and will get her degree in May of 2026. So, you know, you they don't have they don't give you financial aid to go there. People, you have to work. They give you a scholarship, or either your parents pay for you to go. So they take the best. Harvard took the best. They searched for black students who were qualified to attend, had the grades and everything. And Michelle Obama, they all, did this. And he says that black people, black women in particular, were not were not in essence, he's saying black people were not capable, black women were not capable of rationally um, leading anything. We didn't have the power to talk about it. He also said if he saw a black pilot flying a plane, he would want to know if they were qualified, which made absolutely no sense to me because uh, flying a plane is not like learning how to ride a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you never forget how to ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? You never forget how to ride a bike. You may get too old and not want to ride a bike, but you never forget how to do it. It's not like driving a car, because once you learn how to drive a car, you always know how to drive a car. The only way you won't drive a car is if something happens to your legs or your eyesight is not as good as it used to be. But you never forget how to drive a car. So, anybody that drives a plane, I would hope they know how to do it, because it's not like you take a kid. So many things Charlie Kirk said. But the thing I'm getting at, too, is that before they knew who shot Charlie Kirk, if you notice, Trump, Donald Trump, and Nancy Mace in particular, who is running for governor of South Carolina, I think. She's running for governor. She used the F word so many times, and oh, it's the left, the Democrats did it. Even Joe Biden, now, how poor Joe Biden came. He was worried about his health, taking care of himself, and he got into the mix, the mess, you know. So it was funny to me. It was really funny that they would think that, you know, that the left, oh, the leftists did it. Comes to find out, the shooter, Tyler Robinson, comes from a conservative family from Utah. All Trump supporters, the grandmother even says, they don't even know a Democrat. So, and he's a white guy, and there's so much being said about him. It's so much misinformation going around with this thing. So, how do they, you know what I'm saying? And now that they find out it's this white kid, oh, we all need to pray for Charlie and all of that. So this thing is going to get out of hand. My thing is, MSNBC fired one of their political analysts because he spoke his truth to what he thought of Charlie Kirk, which is Charlie Kirk is a white Christian nationalist, uh, white supremacist point of view. He has talked about Taylor Swift, how her eggs were frozen. She wasn't any good because she was 30 and she wasn't married. And this man, and we're not supposed to say anything. President, well, Donald Trump ordered stat, flags flown at half staff. He was not a politician. He was not a politician. He was someone who had beliefs. He spoke his beliefs, which he had the right to do, but that we can't say anything about him. No, Charlie Kirk was not this noble guy. This is part he supported Project 2025, you know, and as a black woman, I I don't feel I won't say that I'm glad he's dead because, like I said in the beginning, I don't wish death upon anyone. But I have no, I have no, no feelings about, that he was this great guy because he wasn't. He wasn't. He believed what he believed, and which he had the right to do. But I, myself, and others have a right to say whether we disagree or agree or disagree with him. I disagreed with him on everything, disparaging black people, calling, saying different things, which I don't believe in. It's not a matter of being a Democrat or a Republican, whether you're conservative or liberal. I came from a Democratic family, was raised in a Democratic family, a conservative Democratic family. My conservative views are different from his. You know, I don't, you know, believe in abortion, but I believe women should have the right to choose to do whatever they want to do for themselves with their bodies. I believe in the separation of church from state. This from state, from the government. Church and state should should be separated. The government should be separated from the church. You know, so we had different point of view. We had different points of view. You know, and the Trump administration is using this, and the MAGA people are using this, um, calling for people to boycott, to MAGA people are calling for this to be a war. This is a war with the leftists. This is what I would like to know, and it comes down to why are HBCUs put into this mess? Charlie Kirk's death happened at uh, a, a, a white school, a white campus, and his followers were white, and he was shot by a young 22-year-old white man, white boy. So why are HBUs being targeted? You're going to come to an HBU and shoot up black people because a white man killed Charlie Kirk? Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me at all. White people are at risk. White people are putting black people at risk, I should say. Black people are at risk. This could turn out to another Tulsa or one of the many, many things that happen to black people. Why are we being targeted to because of what happened to Charlie Kirk? We did not have anything to do with this. You know, this whole thing is getting blown out of hand. Yes, it was Charlie Kirk should not have been murdered by anyone, black or white. So, but why target people who had nothing to do with his death? Why? Why is MAGA using this to come after uh, black people? You tell me. After HBCUs, this is the part that gets me. why I feel the way I do. You know, we don't, we're not coming after you guys. We're not coming after anybody. We didn't vote. Most of us, 90% of black people did not vote for Donald Trump to be president, although he would like for you to believe that the that majority of black people voted for him. No, we did not. We did not vote for Donald Trump. The majority of black people did not vote. And my estimation from the people, and this is only from, there's no scientific proof to this, but Donald Trump, the black people who voted for Donald Trump were basically majority foreign blacks who don't know anything about the black experience, American black experience. But that's for another topic. But anyway, Donald Trump, people, I just don't get it. Why they're coming at us. People voted for Donald Trump, and a lot of MAGA farmers, especially farmers, they're realizing now that they were duped by Donald Trump, and they fell for the lies that Donald Trump told. And American farmers now are upset. They're wondering why black American farmers are not upset about what's going on. And I'll tell you why they aren't. But like one black farmer and his daughter said, they never received any help from the government. They sustained themselves, they kept themselves afloat. Their money didn't come from the government, from the federal government, from the agricultural department, because blacks have never gotten those that type of help. And that's why the number of black farmers has gone down, has actually gone down, because blacks never received the help that white farmers received. And so, you know, they've never they've never done that. So, you know, they've never received that help that black farmers receive, white farmers received, I meant to say. So, so you know, it's so much to all of this. It's just it's just not it's not it's not understandable to me. It's understandable. Leave us alone. That's all black people ask, to be left alone. There's so much misinformation going around, and this confusion with this Charlie Kirk thing. Things are going to get worse before they get better. I'm convinced of that. I really am. You know. So that's my take on Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's killing is is taking a whole. It's casting a whole lot of problems where where literally there is none. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. And I'll be doing more. Um, more. I have something planned for next week, which I'll be doing off my computer, and I'll have things that I can put up. I have to finish setting up my computer, but I do have my computer, and I will be setting some things up with you next week. Maybe not next week, but it'll be on my computer. So I will be setting that up. So I'm going to end this, but that's just some of what I want to talk about. And everybody, can we all just get along? just get along. But we are not in the middle of this mess. Nobody black has been nobody has black has was the shooter. No, it wasn't a Latino. It wasn't a Black American. It wasn't an Arab American. It wasn't none of that. What MAGA would have you believe. So now MAGA and and its people are going after HBCUs because a white man killed Kirk, Charlie Kirk at a white event at a white school. So now black HBCUs have to be closed down literally. Schools are shut down. Um, Students can't walk the campus at college because some people think it's okay. They shot Charlie Kirk, so we're gonna go get him. The guy was a white guy, but anyway, I'll speak more on that later as soon as I'm able to set things up on my computer. So I'm going to end the stream. Everyone who comes in to listen, have a good night.